Have you checked the children? You're a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bienvenidos, Fright fans. Welcome to the horror show. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
Robert Duell.
Damn right, y'all. And myself and my rock brother over here are about to talk to you for a special Patreon poll request. That's right. Yes, the votes came in, and Ghoulies was the winner. And Ghoulies was one that came in about the same time as like Gremlins and Critters and Munchies. I think was another one. Cecil reminded me of that. I've never even seen either of those two films, but yeah. So the small like creature craze was happening pretty significantly in the mid to late 80s, and this is one that I had never seen. All that I knew was that they came out of toilets.
Same.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I'd never watched it, even beyond that, and
And
that scared the crap out of me.
Fun fact a little about that. I guess some parents were complaining to the studios and even the theaters about that poster because it was scaring their kids and then they weren't wanting to go to the bathroom.
Oh, well.
So
We'll move you back to the kiddie potty where you know
yeah,
whatever
right.
could be coming up from it.
Here's a bucket.
But yeah, so this poll is all about Ghoulies. The first one I know with 2, and I think there was even a 3.
There's
I'm not
5,
sure there was
I
a
think.
4. And yeah, I know there was
There's like 4 or at least 5.
Yeah. But, I mean, very much a PG-13, like, kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit, but story-wise, definitely not what I expected. And so, without, like, getting much into it, just stating that it's a small creature movie that really is more so about, like, the occult and things of that nature, I was surprised significantly by this film. I was much more amused by the very 80s stereotypical characters and stuff. All of their interplay, partying, and silliness and whatnot, and also based on just the conflict that's going on with our main character that kind of just bleeds into issues with his girlfriend and this house he's trying to fix up and this like mansion castle practically,
So
and,
pretty.
and yet still California if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I like this movie. I thought it was going to be trash, and it was like kind of one of those weird little underseen, at least as far as the mainstream sort of culture goes. I don't know if I'd go as far as gem, but it was way more enjoyable in that regard, and I think a lot of horror fans would have fun with it.
Yeah, and it's definitely one of those 80s B movies that I'm surprised, honestly, it took so long to get around to watching it.
Yeah.
Because I kept seeing it around and put it in my list and everything. Oh, I'll watch it eventually and everything like that. And it's like, upon watching, it's like, why the hell did I watch this sooner?
Yeah,
This
it was the
was
same with
hilarious.
Critters for me, which
Yeah.
Cecil implored me to watch all the Critters films, and
Yep.
I'd only seen the first one up to that point, and 2 was enjoyable, and various others have their merits and whatnot. So yeah, this is another series that continued to carry on and was pretty fun. So
Yeah, and the main character comes back in all the other movies too.
oh, does he?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and same guy.
How many of you watched? Did you watch all of them?
I've only watched this first one and everything, but I was just
but you
looking
did some
into
research,
what other ones we have out there. And
Yeah, I
whatnot.
do the same thing, man. I pre-plan as far as the research process goes, and I look ahead and I'm like, okay, how much of a semblance of continuity and continuation am I going to have in this next entry? So that makes me much more intrigued to watch 2, because I know 2, if I'm not mistaken, had like the cuts, and it was originally R, and then they toned some things down. It was either 2 or 3 where they toned some things down, and there is either through Scream Factory,
It might have been number
Arrow,
3.
maybe it was 3, but it's like one of those deluxe Blu-ray / DVD, just creator people, Arrow, Scream Factory, all of those that did the uncut version of it and put it on. Maybe Vinegar Syndrome, they're the ones who recently did Tammy and the T-Rex that Cecil and I have to review because it's officially on Shudder as of
I
just
saw that this morning. I'm like, I want to watch that.
Him and I have been so down for that, and Joe Lynch, the director and friend of Eli Roth's, or is it? I don't know. He's like one of those main guys who was like, "This is like where has this been all my life?" But back to the story at hand.
Of Ghoulies. All right.
Indeed, story. Since you watched it more recently than me, man.
So basically, the story is our main character and his girlfriend, they inherit this mansion from his late father. He grew up not knowing his parents or basically really anything about his past. He was raised by this guy named Wolfgang, who is the caretaker of this mansion.
Cool name.
And upon exploring the house, renovating everything, he starts coming across all these occult items, and when he becomes oddly obsessed with demons and basically performing rituals. So during their house party, they tried to perform a seance, and basically they're thinking it was a bust and whatnot, and turns out it wasn't. And then you have all this redonkulousness with the critters, and it turns out that he actually is raising his father.
Yeah.
And that's basically the story of it, and you get that from the trailer. So if you've already seen the trailer, you pretty much know what's going on.
Yeah, and that's the gist of it without spoiling too much. But the interesting thing is, I still remember I tried to watch the first 15 minutes of this movie. It was kind of late after a couple drinks a couple times, and I was like, this doesn't look like the movie that I was expecting.
Exactly.
Because it's back in a more ancient time and so on and so forth, and the whole ritual that begins the movie. And I was just like, I mean, it didn't seem bad, but it was definitely not in line. I thought I clicked the wrong film or something like that.
Same, yeah. The opening was completely different from what you were expecting it to be.
But it sows the seeds for what we eventually see
exactly.
with the payoff, basically.
Yeah, and then this one definitely has, I would say, but again, I don't want to spoil too much because honestly, I want you guys to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It was hilarious, and it has a great line in it.
And it's the line that both myself and Rob wrote down because of the fact that there was one character who comes in and he's like,
super sex craze, my
name is Dick, but you can just call me Dick.
Yeah,
and
it was just like, oh my god, bro.
That epitomized the Night of the Demons, all of these different party hardy.
Because you always have that one guy at the party and everything. You're just like, I'm gonna hook up with her. I'm gonna hook up with her. So yeah, it was hilarious. And honestly, I was expecting that line. That was the best part.
Oh, it was tremendously funny, man. And then we've got our two stoner, maybe more than buddies.
Supposedly, I don't know. I had a friend that was watching it with me. He's like, "Oh, those that couple," and it's like, I don't really necessarily know if that was a thing. I'm pretty sure it was just the stoner bromance kind of thing. But
it was.
Who knows?
Hey, people can read into
funny.
it as much as they want. So.
Yeah. Honestly, don't read into it too much because then you're just gonna be lost into it.
Well, it's only the most intrigued about the possibility.
Oh my god.
That would be reading into it, and obviously we've segued into the acting because as far as the setup, there's not really a lot else that we can say beyond that. But these characters were genuinely a little bit elevated beyond your typical 80s stereotype. I mean, they were 80s stereotypes, obviously. Everybody at this party that happens when this dude who is taking. He decides to take a semester off of college, and the girlfriend's giving him crap about it.
To renovate the house.
So, exactly, because he's becoming obsessed with the house, and he needs to put more work into it, and the family history, and all this other stuff, and it's creating relational friction, and all this other crap. But, yeah, I didn't think these characters were as bad as I've seen in tons of other movies.
No.
I mean, we're talking like sleepover massacres, and I mean, even some of the Night of the Demons sequels, for God's sake. I mean, I've seen way worse portrayals of the stereotypical.
Oh, I agree.
The goth, the punk, the pretty, prissy girl, the whatever. We have pretty much all of those in play, obviously. But
come to find out this morning, the girl, one of the characters, Donna, that's a young Mariska Hargitay, or how you say her name, from Law and Order.
Oh, no kidding.
Mariska Hargitay, or what the hell her name is? Yeah. But I come to find out that was her and everything. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Well, all of the women are very nice looking, and there's studly dudes. That's your thing too. If you're into the bromance suspicions and whatnot.
Couple lazy eyes here and there with the tracking.
Yeah, but that's really about it, man. And as far as set design and effects and stuff of that nature goes, it helps when you have a really dope place that you're filming the entirety of it at, and they have a literal mansion that they're filming this thing in. And it just adds ambiance, and just even though it is more of a horror comedic thing of
very
sorts,
very heavy on the horror comedy.
But it's still, when it segues into its actual backstory, like we see at the very beginning, it still retains a bit of urgency and seriousness. And when you find more out about his family history, I've had situations where I find out revelations like that, and I'm just laughing about it, and I think it's stupid. I didn't really find myself falling into that just reaction. I mean, I did feel where his girlfriend is just like, no, I'm dipping. Sorry, you're acting.
I can't handle this.
You're acting too weird. I'm out of here. I kind of felt it a little bit, not
But
like
that-
Academy Award-winning
Yeah,
status or anything,
yeah.
but better than your average tropey, terrible 80s B movie.
And he played off the influence and the obsession very well.
Yes, he did.
You can there were some scenes like you actually saw him, it's like this guy looks like a total creep.
Yeah.
This is a great movie. Like
Funny
the
thing
acting,
though, I mean, dude, funny thing. The one thing that was surprisingly not great in my estimation was the selling point from all the posters and from all of the marketing.
True.
I was very ill-satisfied with the Ghoulies themselves, and I felt like they were
very
almost
backlisted.
gimmicky, and they weren't even that important to the story.
True.
The story was really all about the father who was trying to, like manipulate the son who had come back and, had the home at this particular point, this mansion and whatnot. And even the stuff with the Ghoulies actually getting people, there were certain people, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. There's like a couple beats with the Ghoulies and certain characters that are like taken back, I guess you could say, without really, spoiling things too much. And yeah, they looked cool, but they didn't play as much of a part in the story as I assumed they were going to.
Same here. I thought
shocked.
they were going to be more predominant in the story than what they were. And we only had a couple little tidbits here and there and whatnot.
Which makes me wonder about the sequels.
Honestly, I feel like the sequels they put
Maybe
them
they'll
more
bank
in the
on them
forward.
more,
Yeah.
So,
But who knows? We'll get there.
Yeah, they still looked cool. So
Yeah.
I mean, creature design was good.
Oh, yeah.
There's not like an immense amount of gore, but this is once again like in the couple scenes we get a little bit of stuff going down. It's pushing the PG-13 rating. That's why some of the later versions of this film, some of the sequels, actually hit the R rating and had to trim stuff down. So, but aside from that, what a surprise, and not one that I was
a very good
anticipating
surprise
at all. So,
A very good surprise.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right. So we extend our thanks once again to all of the Horror Show Patreons. So Patreons, I don't know. I always get myself mixed up in what we're supposed to properly pronounce you as, but we are supremely thankful, and you guys are rad status. If you want to become a patron yourself, jump to the link in the description below, and you can be the proverbial Toulon puppet master. You can suggest commentaries, films to review, different things of that nature, and it helps to support the show, which we truly appreciate as well. We wouldn't be at this level of subscribership and interest and whatnot if not for all of you, and significant thanks for that. So with that in mind, I will call it a deal as things go down. So I've been Jaime and Fuego,
Robert Duell.
and until next time, Fright fans, remember,
Stay scared.